Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pressing Buttons. How's it going, Sue?
Oh man, it's been a while. I'm good.
Well, it's been a month. I mean, we talked
I,
about the end of the year, into
you,
2025 with the Game Awards and
well,
just
there was one thing I did forget to bring before we started recording, and that's man, I forgot the bag of marshmallows because God, everything is on fire right now.
you know what? Fuck it.
we,
Let's talk about it.
we need I need to be making some s'mores right now. Like, why is we go away for how long and we come
Month
back
and a half.
and everything is on fire?
Yeah, month and a half, close to 2 months actually. But
Like the gaming industry is not going to be happy until it's just a pile of smoldering ash.
so okay, so we're starting hot. So Microsoft. Me and Sue lived long enough to see many of gaming companies kind of come and
Become
go.
a villain.
Sega, they had all their consoles, and then Sony and just Sega's leadership just kneecapped them to where they're just a company that just puts out games. They don't put out consoles anymore. Small price to pay, but it is what it is, right?
Well, that price was more so their own hubris and constantly trying to reinvent the wheel, and
Yeah.
so much money being spent on R&D, marketing, releasing consoles that just did not get a moment to breathe. And then by the time you release something that was truly amazing, it was too late because you were hemorrhaging money.
Maybe if you skew to people way older than us, like the Gen X and Boomers, they were around with the big video game crash that birthed Nintendo, and such.
Which a lot of people still say that crap. Like, history has a thing of repeating itself, and we're going in a cycle. And a lot of people really think that we're heading back into that cycle where the entire video game industry is just going to crash and burn like it did in '83 and '84. And people feel like we are long overdue for that crash.
I'm thinking we are going to hit it. So here's why. This is full circle into what happens with Microsoft. So
first of all, they said hold my beer when they saw what Sony did, which we'll get into that.
Yeah, but so me and Sue are in tech. I'm a programmer. He's IT. I would say probably within the past maybe 6-7 years, there was a slow in the beginning stages, slow sort of roll into AI with like Microsoft kind of inputting it into their operating system with Cortana. Technically, you can probably say Mr. Paperclip was kind of the start of it a little bit, but a little bit, just a little bit.
The Paperclip, and then there was like other companies that were making these small things. Like, hey, remember the Purple Ape Bonzi Buddy?
Yeah, so little things like that, little helpers, and then Cortana was sort of like the.
Wait, I got one more to age myself real quick. Remember when Windows Vista did that thing where you can download desktop buddies? You had dancers.
First off, I'm gonna need you to search your dirty mouth up with Vista. Ugh, nigga. Really?
Look, Vista? I'm bringing it up because no, it was actually Windows XP did this. XP did it and Vista did it, where they had you had people break dancing on the corner of your screen and stuff. You had
Vista, nigga. Vista.
Listen, it was XP and Vista. I'm just saying.
XP was tops. You will never beat that out. No, that was tops. That was perfection.
It's still perfect. Like
Microsoft said, "Hey, you like XP, right? Here's Vista." We're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Work print version being Longhorn for those that are in the industry.
I only got Vista because it was free at work at the time. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll take it. Why not?"
But no, I mean, I'm just saying, like the history of all these programs. I remember those desktop buddies. There was like a whole laundry list that you could choose from. You had salsa dancers, break dancers, tap dancers. You had like all these different people doing all this stuff. And yes, I agree. Streets Ahead like 120. Justice for Clippy. We need Microsoft.
So cool.
You know what? This is how you're gonna this is how you give everybody the soft cushion for AI. Give us an AI version of Clippy.
Yeah. So like Cortana was the big game changer because Halo and stuff.
Yeah,
I never really touched Cortana like that, but I kind of understood the appeal because Halo, and
you put her in the form of an attractive woman. And
you too could be Master Chief and Cortana, that kind of shit. I never took advantage of it, but I've seen plenty of people that use Cortana in a variety of ways, whatever, right? So that was the beginning parts, and then like for me as a programmer, there was that push for Copilot on Visual Studio. Like it was basically there for if you're programming something, it could automatically populate whatever you're programming if you use it multiple times, which it is useful in that regard. So I'll give it that.
Shout outs to Visual Studio. I've installed that program a number of times for customers.
Yeah. So eventually the next stage was the AI Copilot and all that stuff. And I would say the past 3 years has been Microsoft saying, hey, you like AI? We're gonna throw it in a new version of Windows, and all of us is like, I don't want this. No, we don't want this because number one, it eats up memory. It eats up especially if you're somebody that runs a gaming computer, that is the worst thing that you can have running in the background while you're gaming.
Okay. So what we're looking at is the unholy trinity.
Mhm.
Still waiting for what that third thing is going to be. No, sorry. No, I do know what it is. So this is the unholy trinity, CJ.
Mhm.
DRM.
Oh yeah, for sure.
De Novo. Anyone who plays on PC knows if you got a game that runs De Novo, brother. And third, no matter how you try to get rid of it, when Microsoft Copilot.
Oh, Jesus. So
imagine you running a gaming PC and you have these three things running when you're trying to just simply play a game. Like, that's going to cause your computer, like the moment you go into Task Manager and you see CPU usage and it's screaming at 99%. Your RAM is at like 75, 80%.
And I'm glad we've reached a point to where we have
GPU
a lot of
is burning.
I know we have a lot of experts, you, me, and a lot of others that we've been helping folks like, hey, here's how to install this operating system and get that fucking shit off your goddamn computer. You gotta do a lot of background work to get it off, but it's worth it. It's fucking worth it.
And that's if you want to go through it the legal way.
For those of you
that
legal,
for those of you that that have gone through the seedier side of the internet, who you hung around with a lowlife or two, such as myself,
of course.
And and you've been shown the way, if you will, allegedly, that you can get access. Yes, Chris, you have gotten access to an ISO that's got your favorite Windows operating system on it, and it has zero bloatware from the jump. There are some amazing programmers out there. That's all I can say.
You know what's crazy to me? It's amazing to me to grow up like Windows 95 was probably like my first just cognitive of understanding Windows. Like obviously, like I wasn't aware of stuff prior to that because like going to school, we had like the early Apple computers, the little small screen and the floppy disk. So we had that. So I remember my mom got a IBM computer.
Mm-hmm.
She had Windows 95 on it, and then she ended up getting a compact computer, and then she got a Dell computer after that. But like 95, I remember at that time there was no bloat on it, like at all. And it's crazy to me back then. No. It's crazy to me like how over the years, I would probably say started at XP going forward, so much bloatware hit on those Microsoft stuff. And if you weren't aware of how to get rid of it, you were like, well, why the fuck do I got this shit on here? Where did this come from? What the hell is going?
We gotta think back then. We were saving stuff on floppy disk.
Yeah,
and that was like 1.5 meg.
Yeah.
Then zip drives came out. Remember those?
That was grand opening, grand closing, man.
I remember. Really was, even though
my mom had a zip drive on her computer, and I thought I was hot shit. And then I was like, well, never mind.
At that time, it stored so much, man. 256 megs was like, bro. You thought you was on Easy Street at that point.
And you were a coke dealer if you had a zip disk on you. You were rich. I want people to understand that. You had a zip disk, you were rich.
That was the Sony mini disc of the tech world at that time.
So going into AI, right? A lot of companies have been throwing their weight behind it and stuff, Microsoft being one of them. And a lot of it boils down to this, and it ties into the data centers, and that essentially these companies are making deals mainly with OpenAI on the assumption that they're going to build data centers and they have money hedged. It's more so you're promising money and chips and RAM and all that stuff for theoretical data centers that may or may not be built. That might be built. I don't say may or may not. But given, I would say, the past year and a half, there's been a pushback on those data centers happening. And also the fact that, let's be real, it's capitalism. These companies are realizing, hey, man, we're not making any money off this shit. Like, what the fuck's going on? We put 60 billion in and we only made like a million, if that.
It's the number one problem with the video game industry in general, and that's capitalism. Before I go on my rant about it, I need to kind of respond to these comments. Number one, first of all, Streets Ahead, good luck finding an Xbox ally. Okay, ROG Ally X's, the Steam Deck, rip to all of that.
Yeah,
you can't find none of that stuff.
And yes, man, we're talking about Xbox.
So no. His question is this an Xbox?
Oh yeah. I'm about to say I misused. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Hey, you know what? That's a good one.
Everything's an Xbox. We're all Xbox.
We are Xboxes.
But but he's right. Yeah, basically, OpenAI, they're bleeding cash bad. It's to the point OpenAI's owner is like, please, guys, please use AI. I really need this to work. Like, if OpenAI does not work, he is going to be ass out. That's how bad this shit is.
Between your boy begging from OpenAI and our boy from NVIDIA coming out and admitting this whole thing has been a rug pull.
Man, he went from, oh man, AI game changer. 2 months ago, he's like, actually no, last month. Yeah, late last month, he was like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of touch and go. A little touch and go.
You did nothing to stop the rumor mill from spreading that your 5070 Ti's were no longer going to exist. Your 5060s weren't going to exist. And I think even there were some rumors going around that the 5080s were going to be pulled from shelves. So you did nothing to stop that, but instead you said, hey, everybody, we're bringing back old cards. Like, you remember the 3080? Shout outs to me. I still got my 3080 12 gig. Still good, by the way. But you're talking about bringing back 3080 cards, 4080 cards for people that can't afford the like the 50 series. I'm like, well, what's to stop y'all from putting out these old cards and not upcharging a ridiculous amount like we're not back in COVID again?
So going back to Xbox, Phil Spencer retired. And initially, when he retired. Yeah, retired. When he initially retired, that's when what's her face?
Sarah
Bond pretty much tagged in. She was going to be running Xbox. Phil Spencer stepped down. Now, a lot of us peep game that at that time there was that hostile takeover of Microsoft buying Blizzard Activision at the time, which a lot of people were pissed off about because
that was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, but at that time, that transition was still there. So
yeah, but he wasn't talking about retiring then. Phil Spencer has not once mentioned retiring until this whole thing has blown up in Microsoft's face, by the way.
Yeah. So
look, here's how it went down.
Yeah.
This was like the stupidest Friday going into Monday that I had to sit through. Friday, it's announced out of the blue, Phil Spencer's retiring, that he's completely stepped down from Xbox. Everybody was under the assumption, there's 24 hours in the day. So within that 24 hours, we were under the assumption that, oh man, Sarah Bond's going to step in, I guess, and she's going to, take over because she's pretty much been his right-hand man ever since he became the president of Xbox.
Yeah.
What do we find out about 6 hours later? Sarah Bond's out of here. So because she had it on her LinkedIn that she is now she's like running Tyson's Foods as not a CEO, but she's pretty much taking like a high position. Oh, she pulled that ripcord and she was out of Xbox.
And a lot of this ties into the fact that because Microsoft has been bleeding money, putting their chips behind OpenAI, that means not only the game division, but there's other divisions in Microsoft that have been either they downsized or they shuttered because of that. Because like I said, you putting that much money into OpenAI and stuff. Yeah, 80 billion. Yeah, Streets Ahead said it earlier. 80 billion into OpenAI, and you're bleeding that much money. Much like everything, you're gonna have to shutter some stuff to kind of keep yourself afloat. And I think Sarah saw the writing on the wall, like, oh shit, this game division might get it's going to get shuttered. Let me get the fuck up out of here. Like, I'm
Well,
out.
see, that's one way. That's one way to look at it, CJ. Let me give you my take on it.
Okay.
My take of why I believe Sarah left. Number one, I believe Phil Spencer had at least a few more years in him to continue being at Xbox. But because of everything that was happening with Microsoft and AI and all this other nonsense, the pressure that has been unfairly put on Xbox, because let's keep this the fullest of stacks here. All right.
Okay.
Xbox as a division does not make profit for Microsoft.
I thought they made a profit. Well, the original Xbox era, were they making a profit then?
Not during Xbox, not during 2001. I know they weren't. Xbox 360 for sure they were not making
really. I thought like the second half of the 360 they were making money. Like post Red Ring, they were starting to like
post Red Ring. Even with post Red Ring, they had to win back the confidence of their customer base again.
Fuck.
And that took some time. That took literally up until the end of the 360's life cycle. Then you had Xbox One with Don Matrick and that whole nonsense where they were trying to turn the Xbox
always online and all
always online, and it literally TV at the end of every sentence was the word TV.
Well, it was supposed to be an entertainment machine. That was the big deal.
But that was never the case. Again, you go back to 2001, this thing was supposed to be just a game console. But like I said, this thing has never really truly made Microsoft profit. Microsoft profits off of everything else.
Operating system.
Their operating systems, their computers, their laptops, like all of their other hardware except Xbox. Xbox does not make them profit. It doesn't. It really. First of all, they sell their consoles at a loss.
Damn, that's crazy. I thought they were at least making something. That's crazy. I really thought they were making a profit.
They're making enough probably just off of games. Like I would say, their first party games, if anything. Okay. But come on, let's fast forward to like, God, let's rewind the clocks back actually to like the last couple of years. You remember back in Xbox One, like 2001, we're still in high school. Xbox One, we saw like how many IPs that have just came and Thanos snapped and turned into dust.
Yeah.
As we get into 360, you had like a number of games from the OG Xbox One era that stuck around. But that was probably the last time you ever saw those games again, because as soon as we got to Xbox One from 2013, we only saw the main three: Halo, Forza, Gears.
Yeah, and the thing of it
is, it has stayed on those three IPs
till last year.
Up until last year, where they've canceled Perfect Dark. They've canceled so many IPs, so many games that were supposed to come out.
I actually got
but hold that thought. But where I was going, like I'm circling all this back to Sarah Bond. Number one, Sarah Bond's idea was Xbox everywhere, right? That whole thing was facilitated by her. And there was like a number of ideas that she had specifically for Xbox that I believe was working and would work. Some worked and some didn't. Mm-hmm. But the moment Phil made his announcement that he was retiring, and I know what stopped her from trying to take up that mantle and soldier on without him, mm-hmm. was the fact that, number one, you're going to try to bring in this AI nonsense, no matter how much Microsoft claims that they're not going to do it. We're not going to see AI in none of the Xbox games. We all know that's false. I'm sure she saw that, and I know that because of this direction that they're trying to go in, which is what led to the both of them leaving, mm-hmm. I believe she saw, I know what y'all are trying to do. Y'all want me to take on this position so that the whole thing can be completely shuttered. And when people ask what happened to Xbox, why did it fall? Why did it shut down? Why did it close? Very easy. You can blame the black woman president.
I saw the jig. Because I saw the jig for a while. I mean, look, if you're black and you see some shit like that, your first thought automatically is, yeah, they're going to get blamed when shit goes bad. They never get the praise when things go good all the time. If you're black and you're in high leadership at a major place, you never get the praise. When things are good, it's never, oh, that person is great. It's when shit gets either minute bad or major bad. And they're like, oh, they put a black person in charge. Ooh,
Not
it's
just
like,
that.
really?
It's worse. You put a black woman.
Black woman at that. Like black man, you might be able to escape criticism to a point. Black woman.
The thing is, you got to put in a black woman that's not even just a black woman. If you're going to put in anybody that's going to be the president of a gaming division, from the customer's eyes, whoever's running it needs to be a gamer at heart. That's like their number one like prerequisite is, if you're going to be the president of this gaming division, are you a gamer in any capacity?
And that's my thing. Like, I could tell she has an understanding of the game industry.
You might have an understanding of the gaming industry, but she
didn't feel like a tourist, but she also wasn't like some super duper expert either. I guess that's probably what I'm saying.
Well, it's something much worse than being a tourist. You're a suit. You see,
I don't think she was that bad.
No. I'm not saying her. I'm saying the worst thing you could be from a tourist is a suit.
Oh yeah,
someone who's never even touched a video game, but yet you're the person in charge of this division.
Yeah. So
why should we trust this? So unlike a Nintendo, God bless the dead for Satoru Iwata.
Oh yeah,
he was a programmer at Nintendo, worked his way up to become the president and CEO.
Yeah, and I mean,
the guy actually made games. So, like, we respect people like that. You get somebody that just has a background in business management or something like that.
MBA.
They got all these MBAs, but they've never touched a game in their life. So they have no idea what their customer base is or what they would even want.
Well, I mean, so
not to mention, Chris, you know, the other thing that has also what's been killing Xbox? Xbox doesn't even have an identity anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Like when Microsoft, when Xbox came out, it was like, okay, Nintendo, you knew what you were getting. It was Pokemon, it was Mario, all their first party stuff. You knew what you were getting out of it, right? Sony, you knew pretty much. You might as well say Sony, even to this day, home of JRPGs. Like if you like JRPGs, you get a Sony console, fighting games to a point, action adventure, things like that, right? And in their first party stuff too, just like Nintendo, strong first party. Microsoft was like, hey, you like PC games, but you don't have the money for it. Here's a console, PC game right there, and also Xbox Live. You can
I can sum it up even easier for you. If you date all the way back to 2001 with Xbox, you want to know what Xbox's original identity was? I would say leading all the way up to 2013 Xbox One. You want to know what its identity was?
What?
It was the dude bro console.
Of course, like Halo.
Xbox was the dude bro console. For since 2001. Fast forward up to today, nobody knows what it is. You know, number one, you gave us the coolest thing ever with Game Pass, and then you go and do the most bonehead thing ever by increasing Game Pass's price 50%. Then on top of that, you turn around as a division and you gave your IPs to the ops. You gave it to Sony. CJ, would you, if I went back in time and told you in 2006 when Gears of War came out that you guys know that we're going to be able to play this on a future PlayStation console, you would have looked at me like I was crazy.
I mean, it's not like
Gears of War on a PS5.
Now, would I play Gears of War on the PlayStation? No, I have a PC, so I'll just play it on that. I'm not jumping through hoops. But you know what? God bless to the people that got PlayStations that don't have PCs. They can play Gears of War. Great.
To see, and from what I've heard,
and probably Halo 2 at some point.
And from what? Oh yeah, and Halo is on. You gave Halo Gears. You gave Halo Gears and another IP
Destiny.
to your ops. No, not Destiny.
Destiny was like. Remember, Destiny was like Microsoft, and then it finally hit Sony consoles and stuff.
But wasn't Destiny like made by Bungie?
Yeah, but Bungie, remember, that was the reason why a lot of people bought the Xbox was because of like
Destiny. Yeah, it was for Destiny. No, Destiny 2 came out and I think it was on everything.
Yeah, but still that was the big deal. But go back to
it's the fact that you gave all of your IPs, like your most treasured exclusive IPs, to the ops. Then on top of that, you tried to make everything an Xbox. The PlayStation is your Xbox, the TV is your Xbox, laptop is an Xbox. You completely lost the identity of what Xbox was.
And I get what they were trying to do.
I get it, but like
you wanted it was basically like with the Xbox, I would probably say the 360 was the start of it, but I would say the Xbox One was the start. Like they wanted a console that was like an all-in-one entertainment kind of thing, right? And Sony during that time. So my thing was this. Like, and this, don't get it twisted. Like, Sony was making some moves too around that time when Microsoft was trying to make the entertainment. Because you remember when Sony had that fucking expensive ass smart TV that was like you could play your Sony games on this smart TV, and it fucking died a quick death because everybody was like, "You don't fucking want this shit," and Sony was like, "You know what? My bad. Sorry."
It was that. Matter of fact, it was that. You're right. It was that Sony. What was it? The PlayStation TV, or it was that? It was that screen. It was a TV that allowed you to play your PlayStation games on it, but I think for the most part, when you actually hook your PlayStation up, it's supposed to be like a better visual presentation to what a regular HD TV was. I remember that TV. That TV was like only like 30 something inches, and it was cool, but like you spent all that money for a 1080p like TV. It's like, stop it, Sony. What are we doing?
So here's the thing about Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer, to me, he is the master of when he talks, he's very nice and he very welcoming. But then when you look at how he managed Microsoft, I got a list of shit that he did. He was a fucking piece of goddamn shit. Let me tell you something.
It's after he took, hey Chris, you know what it is? It's the moment the camera stopped rolling. He went from the dad t-shirt to the blazer.
Oh yeah, of course. Like just you know, this.
He still kept the jeans.
This the whole time. Camera's off. He's this.
He went from. He still got the jeans on, but he's putting on the blazer.
So let me break it down to you. Phil Spencer closed during his tenure. Closed 6 studios.
Yep.
Fired close to 7,000 gaming division employees.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple games canceled, including Dishonored 3, Ghostwire Tokyo 2, Hi-Fi Rush 2, Halo Battle Royale, Black Tusk Studios, ZeniMax massive MMORPG like Project Blackbird. Then on top of that, like one of the studios that he closed was Alpha Dog Games, Tango Gameworks, Roundhouse Studios, Lionhead Studios, Arcane Austin, and The Initiative. That's just a few of them that will know.
That's just to name a few.
Yeah, and then the personnel. Oh, you lost Hideki Kamiya. That's the guy that made DMC. The fact that you lost that guy, that was
the guy behind OG Resident Evil 4.
You lost David Jones, co-founder of Rockstar. You lost Shinji Mikami, Resident Evil creator.
Yep.
Joseph Staten, Halo writer. Tamina Tonadatis, who founded Ninja Theory.
That guy, the one who made DMC with Dante.
Yeah. But take it out of the table. They had other games that were really good too. Don't get it twisted.
Heavenly Sword was kind of cool.
You lost Rob Ferguson, who directed Gears of War.
I remember him.
Gavin Rayburn, founder of Playground Games. Greg Mills, who directed Banjo-Kazooie. Now, again, those are just a few names of people that. So Phil Spencer, again, on the front end, you're thinking, oh man, Phil Spencer, he's so great. And then you look behind and it's like, oh, damn. Okay. What the fuck? Like, holy shit.
All right.
Like just.
I just realized something, CJ.
But,
sorry.
No,
Chair recognized DJ Sue here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean this with no chudness in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You notice all those people that have been let go, fired, or whatever under Phil Spencer's watch.
Mm-hmm.
They were all men.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there was I'm theorizing here. I think later on we're gonna find some SA shit going down with Phil Spencer down the line.
Don't put that evil.
I'm putting it on them because the women didn't leave. I wonder why.
No. All the men that left or got fired for under his watch, I guarantee you that all those companies now have been replaced by women.
I'm pretty sure maybe, you know, like
But you think it's some essay stuff?
Hey, look, man, I'm pretty sure there was some women that got fucking shit canned too and stuff. Like, just
I can't imagine so. I mean, they've taken over so much of the gaming industry. No wonder it's
but
on
nah,
fire.
they
Okay, that's
so Microsoft. So you see these Terabon and Phil Spencer, they're gone, right? So who do they put in charge?
so they
Who
put
did-
in. They put in. I'll tell you who they put in. They put in head of Microsoft Copilot, by the way.
AI Copilot.
Yeah, AI Copilot. Freaking Asha Sharma.
Now, here's the thing. When you lead with Asha Sharma, head of Microsoft AI, I immediately was like, yep, this is pretty much showing that Microsoft is getting the fuck out of the gaming business, period. When you do that, because there are things, businesses where businesses tend to, when they're about to shutter, they'll do things to purposely sabotage itself to really shutter it. And this is it right here.
They have been trying to get out of. Hang on a second. They've been trying to get out.
Hey, yo, dog. Hey. Hey.
Hey,
dog.
So mad.
This booty be mean. Whoa, wait a minute, Phil. What is this?
No, and it gets sent to homeboy from Microsoft, Matt Booty.
So,
but no. But what I wanted to ask was, what does that say about you as a leader in this division, this gaming division, that you had all of these people from all these studios, all these developers that have lost their jobs while you continue to have one?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not one for dancing on people's grave on for losing their jobs, because you were just a programmer. You were a developer. You made a game, at the behest of the publisher. Now, it's really not your fault that you did your job, but when you're given that pink slip and your entire studio is shut down,
that's
I can only hope that you're able to find another company that's going to pick you up.
Somebody said it best. It's like there was somebody that was working on GTA 6 and they were saying like this person, even though he worked on Grand Theft Auto 5 and 6, he can't find a job anywhere else. And this is a person that was one of the developers of it. And that's the state of the industry right now. There's no soft landings at this point, because everybody is getting shit canned, and that's the economy and everything and stuff. Because one part of it is AI, but also Trump and his fucking tariffs and shit. But just also this administration and the job market is trizash.
There has been zero job growth since 2024.
No, since he swore himself in it. But you're right, 2024 when Doge started running wild. You're right. As soon as he won that election, job market went to shit. Nosedive. But anyways, so you have that happening, right? And what you said earlier, Sony comes in.
I'm sorry, Chris. I got to stop you there. 2024, the job industry was more like.
Look, I can see their parachutes. They're okay.
Don't get it twisted. If I'm talking the gaming industry has been like hemorrhaging jobs even before this. Like I would probably say over the past 6-7 years, it's been hemorrhaging jobs. So I'm not even going to put that all on Trump. It's a symptom of the industry and their overspending and bloated ass fucking budgets and stuff. Cause we're now in quadruple A. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Like quadruple A games and all that. And it's like now it's kind of like the movie industry where it's like, we used to have it to where, yes, you had your big tentpole films, but you used to have your mid-budget films. And now your mid-budget films are on streaming channels now. Now you can't even put out a $20 million movie in theaters because there's an expectation that your movie needs to spend 50 to 60 million just to hit theaters to be worth a damn. And it's the same thing in the video game industry. You used to have your mid-budget games. Like we talked about last episode with Expedition 33. that was a game changer because you're talking about a game that wasn't even $70. It was $50.
Yeah.
$50.
And
And it was a good game that rivals AAA and quadruple A games.
it was no. See, here's what's really dumb, Chris, is that the people that made Expedition 33,
Former,
they were from Ubisoft.
thank you.
Ubisoft could have had a W on their hands if you'd have just listened to your team of developers that wanted to make something that wasn't the status quo, something that wasn't the norm, something that doesn't struggle to make some kind of budget. Something that doesn't struggle to make any kind of budget for you guys. They go off on their own, form their own studio, make one game, sell it at $50. Bruh, sweeps awards.
And then after sweeping the awards, hey, we're going to discount our game and do a DLC add-on too on top of that. So have fun.
I have to say that if you I like real quick, I have to say that if you are any indie developers that are out there, please, it's really not even that hard. No, it's not that hard to just look at what major triple quad A studios are doing, the amount of corporate greed that is behind that machine. Just look at what they're doing and do the exact reverse polar opposite of what they're doing. All that DLC nonsense that they want to throw out there, put it in your game. Just put it in your game. No DLC. No, I'm sorry. No microtransactions. If you're going to have DLC, like an expansion or something like how Monster Hunter does, that's fine. Make it worth it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's always been the big thing. And going into Sony, not to be left out the game, Sony has been doing this thing like a lot of other studios are doing, and it's and this goes into what you were saying about like a lot of business folks that are running these companies. They're the reason why we're getting so many live service games, because
that has been Sony's MO for like the last several years right now.
Yeah, because they've been trying their best to get into it, and Fortnite being the big smash live service game hit that it is, every company, Microsoft, Sony, even Nintendo to a degree, they've been trying their best to get in that. Ubisoft, all these places have been trying to get into that live service thing. And the problem with live service is that you have to dump so many resources into maintaining it that it fucks up your other parts of your company.
Not just that, CJ. It's not even the fact you got to dump so many resources. It's the fact that you want to do this monkey see, monkey do, dragon chasing nonsense of this is what Fortnite did. First of all, Fortnite was lightning in a bottle. All right. Yeah. It was lightning in a bottle. Epic Games looked back and saw that, yeah, we sold Gears of War to Microsoft, but we just made how much money off of Fortnite? They don't regret it.
And you understand why. Because it's Fortnite, like you get it.
You know, and again, everybody from that point on has been trying to copy the Fortnite formula in some kind of way, and it just doesn't work. And that's the problem with live service games is you can't do what Fortnite has done. Like, I hate I don't hate. I'm going to use this example. You remember the T-Pain rant? Do something else. Yeah. Do something else. Sony, for the love of God, do something else.
And that's
how many IPs do you have sitting in a back room inside of a time capsule, collecting dust that you have refused to touch?
Well, I mean, look at what the fuck was that game that came out with the robot?
Not Astro Boy.
Yeah, Astrobot.
I mean, Astrobot, not Astrobot. I'm not. And
No. What I'm getting at here is Astrobot came out, and it was a love letter because you had different levels in that game, and it was a love letter to all of Sony's first-party games, and it had people talking like, "Yo, Sony, where's Ape Escape?
Where are these games?
Where are all these first-party stuff?" And Sony, this is the funniest shit. Sony decided, on top of them doing a live service Horizon game, which why the fuck are you doing that? They ended up shuttering a studio that was in charge of all their recent remakes that they put out.
I need a moment of silence for Blue Point.
and like and
Like
this
for
is and this
Blue Point Studios, rest in peace.
Blue Point, like Sony did what Microsoft did when they bought Activision Blizzard, in that they shuttered all these studios at Activision Blizzard for no fucking reason. And Sony said, hey, we can do the same thing. And you shuttered a studio that, because you had them doing a live service thing,
It was a live service God of War game that they canceled, by the way.
And because it didn't work out, you just said, fuck it, close it. And I'm like, well, first off, number one, nobody was asking for a fucking live service God of War game. Nobody. I don't know why the fuck do you think a live service God of War was the smart move. There
was like several live service projects that was in hand. I mean, they specifically were working on that one. But remember when they tried to do that multiplayer live service thing with Spider-Man? They tried to do that. They tried to do a live service with Last of Us. There were so many live service ideas that they have just completely shuttered. And thank God that they did.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like when you look at a good example, Ghost of Tsushima and now Ghost of Yote, they have a free multiplayer kind of thing.
Yeah, there it is. Just drop it.
Those are the things that we expect out of Sony games. It's just like, yo, we don't want live service. If you can give us a good multiplayer with your first party games, great. Like Uncharted had a fun multiplayer vibe to it and stuff. Last of Us has a fun multiplayer vibe. Give us that. We don't want live service. And they keep trying to do that. And it's like, nobody asked for that shit. What are we doing here?
Not like, I don't know what it is about single player games being Sony's latest kryptonite. I mean, Sony, you're making
money. What are we doing here?
No, not just making money. This is what you started on.
Thank you.
You started your entire industry off of single player games when you came out. I know 1995 was a long time ago, but just for a moment, just think about your genesis for just a hot moment here. You ever look at the back of the well, you happen to have one, Chris. Look at the back of that PS1 classic that you got a couple of years ago. You see all those games that were printed on the back cover.
Mm-hmm.
90% of them single player games. What happened, Sony? I get multiplayer keeps people coming in, but you know something else that keeps people coming back as well? Good single player games.
And the thing of it is, Blue Point Studios got shuttered, and it's the most basic reasons, and I think this is the thing that pissed folks off. The reason why they shuttered was because, like you said, the God of War live service game wasn't going anywhere, and they canceled it. And
that thing died before it even got to exist.
Yeah, so they canceled that, and because they didn't have anything else in the pipeline, Sony was like, well, fuck it. Shut it down. Which I think is it's bullshit, because it's like, okay, the God of War thing didn't work out. You didn't have to shut them down. You didn't
have to. You know something else that they could have been working on instead of this God of War live service slop? You could have gave us Dark Souls remastered. You could have gave us.
They did already. Or was
no, that was Demon Souls.
Okay.
Remember, after Demon Souls, everybody was expecting Blue
Dark
Point.
Souls remastered.
Get on it. Give us Dark Souls. They wanted a Dark Souls remaster. Shoot, we wanted Bloodborne. Can you give us Bloodborne 4K 60 FPS? That was all everybody was asking for. Yeah, people wanted Bloodborne too, but if we had just gotten Bloodborne, like an update to Bloodborne 1 to hold us over, nobody would have complained. But you go and shut all that down. And what really, really irritates us even more, remember prior to this whole shuttering of Blue Point during the state of play, we see TC Carson, who comes out and announces he's back to being the voice of Kratos again. And we see the trailer, not so much the trailer, but the title card drop for God of War Trilogy Remake.
Now, here's the kicker about that.
You announced this, and then you shuttered.
And then the next day, Blue Point Studios shut down. And that's the wild part. That is Sony over the past 5 years in a nutshell. Great news up front, like, oh man, you got everybody there. And then next day, either a studio gets shut down or they do something stupid with Sony PlayStation Plus in some weird way that we're like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Now, just like how earlier you mentioned Phil Spencer being the one responsible for X amount of studios being dead right now. You know the guy that's in charge of Sony
Oh, there's a lot of studios that shuttered under his watch.
Yeah, the guy, like the guy who's in charge of PlayStation, is the one that created Horizon, and because of his success of Horizon Zero Dawn, the guy has pretty much been taken over, and he's been been running things at PlayStation. Now, while you have this title, this position, that's great. How is it that you go out of your way to kill off so many studios, fire so many developers? Dude, I would not be surprised that if in 2 years' time, Santa Monica Studios is out of here.
Nigga. Like that, and that tells you how volatile the game industry is right now. Like I said, with everything that's happening with the economy and everything, things are getting volatile right now. Shit's got to get tight. And like I said, the game industry in a weird way have nobody to blame but themselves, because again, unnecessary ballooning costs for no fucking reason.
Yep.
No balance, because again, there used to be a balance. You had your big budget games, but hey, guess what? Mid-budget games or even small indie games. There was a balance there where it's like if you're a studio, you need to have a portfolio that shows a wide variety. But, and I kind of blame Call of Duty for this because this was the start of it. Call of Duty kind of started the whole thing of the big blockbuster games, and every studio has been trying to match that effort every year since Modern Warfare came out. Like every studio is like, all right, we got to have big budget. And it's like, on one hand, it used to be, hey, as gamers, we were concerned about graphics and stuff. And now it's like the fact that these games are costing the same amount as a fucking movie from Marvel Studios or Warner Brothers and shit, like Dune, it's like, what the fuck? Like GTA 6 is probably costing like 100 million plus, just to make. And that shit still ain't even fucking out yet.
To be honest, sir, here's what's gone down. The first one that went down, and I remember this, Japan Studio.
Yep.
Japan Studio closed in 2021. Then what followed was Pixel Opus, London Studio, Firewalk Studios,
yep,
Neon Koi, and now Blueprint. Blue Point Games.
And the thing of it is, it's like, now, do I think Sony is going to be in Microsoft's position? No, because I think ultimately, in a weird way, they're going to be kind of staying afloat there, even with these dumb fucking decisions. But it still kind of gives you pause, because it's like you have a lot of first-party games that you just kind of have on the back burner. And it's like you could have came out with a new Ape Escape or did like a remastered Ape Escape if you wanted to.
Do you know the closest thing we have to Ape Escape right now is Metal Gear Solid Delta with Snake versus Monkey,
which they
upgraded it. They made it even better than it was back then.
Between that and, like I said, Astrobot doing the Ape Escape levels and stuff, that reinvigorated folks like, yo, I want to play a new Ape Escape. Because again, you could easily do, hey, remaster Ape Escape 1 and 2 right there. That's money.
You know what? The one thing I wish a lot of these, specifically Sony and Microsoft, what I wish they could be doing right now. Yes, it was a tease, and we have heard nothing since 2023 when that trailer had dropped. You remember when we watched, I think it was either State of Play or like one of those events, and Sega did that crazy trailer where we saw 5 or 6 games. We saw a new Jet Set, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Crazy Taxi, all of these games, like actual gameplay. And I'm like, we need this. I was like, I need this. I wish for just one time, specifically Sony. I need Sony to do this. I need you to just drop a trailer and just show me actual gameplay of forgotten games that people will want. We need a new, Killzone 4 kind of killed the franchise, but just go back to basics and give us a good Killzone game.
Yeah, that's another one. That was another one that was low key. Funny enough, Killzone 1, 2, and 3 Killzone was a franchise that folks was like, yo, like between Killzone and Time Splitters, those were the 2 first-person games that people were like, yo, these things might give Xbox's Halo and them a run for their money to a point. Like,
Like if you get
You got something here.
or do it right. Give us a Killzone trilogy remake.
Or even what the fuck was the other game? That it was about the alien invasion in World War II.
Resistance.
That's another one you could continue if you wanted to. That was another underrated fucking franchise, especially that third game. Resistance 3 was fucking dope as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and the thing of it, it's terrible in a sense because not to be outdone, Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. On one hand, Switch 2 is selling like fucking hotcakes. It's been outselling the PlayStation 5 over the past like 3-4 months, which
if I may interject, the
Mhm.
only reason why that thing is even selling as much as it is right now is honestly out of FOMO.
Yeah.
It's FOMO and blind loyalty to Nintendo.
The Switch 2 to me, it reminds me of the Wii U.
That's exactly what it is. Because let me tell you something, Chris.
It's a stopgap console.
Because let me tell you something, Chris. You know how Mario Kart World came out and everybody hopped on it and it was like the hottest thing for about all of 2 minutes? I have seen more people go back to Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, like that's been
2026 to 2026 Mario Kart World.
That's been the damning thing about Nintendo is that like I remember when the Wii U came out and I was feeling some way because I'm like, Nintendo, you can keep going with the Wii until because
nobody asked for this.
Nobody asked for a Wii U, and the funny thing is, it was just a stopgap for the fucking Switch. Because the Switch is what the Wii U was trying to fucking be, and by the time you got the Switch, it's like I don't even need a fucking Wii U. Fuck this shit. I'm out. And now, like the Switch 2, I'm like, there is nothing in me that wants to sit there and get rid of my Switch to play the Switch 2. I'm sorry.
If they had just well, outside of the better battery life, somewhat, if they had just took what they did with the Switch OLED, because remember when the Switch OLED came out and people was feeling some type of way about that, because it's like we wanted the Switch Pro, like we wanted like a bigger screen, 4K, and all of this.
It was a Switch without the fucking docking,
basically. But but considering that we got the Switch OLED, which was a slightly bigger screen, better colors, because since it was an OLED screen, you had that better battery life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this, I'm good with this. Then you announce the Switch 2 not too long after it, and you go back, you give us a downgrade on the screen because the Switch 2 screen isn't even an OLED.
Well, but
I get it. No, I get it. It would cost too much money. It would be like the console would be more expensive than it already is if it came preloaded with an OLED.
But Sue, 60 frames per second now. Hooray! Hey, look. Power in the Nintendo console has never been the priority at Nintendo, so like
I would say it's more of resolution versus frames, because Nintendo games, for the most part, when you play them, they actually do have a solid FPS.
Yeah.
At least their first party titles do.
Yeah.
And no, I still don't have a Switch 2. I refuse to buy a Switch 2 just
I'm not getting a Switch 2 either. I'm not getting it.
No, I mean I refuse to get one. I refuse to get one just because I want to play Donkey Kong on it. No, I'm not doing it. Number one, that game is way too expensive, and the console itself is way too expensive. It's the price. The price for the Switch 2 is $200. I'm sorry, $300 more than what it should be.
But the controversy that's been happening is this. I've said it from jump that I hate Nintendo and how they suck at giving fans access to older games, particularly like the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games and all that stuff, particularly the Pokemon franchise.
Yes.
If I'm someone that's like, hey, I would love to play Pokemon Blue and Red or Gold and Silver or any of those games, you're shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck unless you actually have the cartridges and stuff, because Nintendo refuses to give people access to those games.
Did you see what they did with the new Fire Red?
Oh, that's what I was getting to.
Mm-hmm.
So Fire Red and Leaf Green are coming out remastered, $20 a pop. Which started a conversation online of people like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, just pirate it. And yeah, some folks that were doing this, well, don't pirate it, just support it. And I'm like, no, fuck you, Nintendo, fuck you. Because on one hand, I get the cartridges for those games are stupid expensive now, But at the same time, I'm like, Nintendo, you could have easily. You already have people. You already have it to where you can download like the Game Boy, I guess, thing where you can download a Game Boy.
Yeah,
And,
if you have the Nintendo Online, and I guess
Yeah.
the premium where it gives you access to the old vault of stuff.
you could have easily put those Pokemon games in the vault, and folks would have happily paid the premium for access to that. But you don't do that, and I don't get it. It's like it's the easiest of fucking layups, and they refuse to do it, and I don't get it. But now, I'm not saying $20 is a lot. I think $20 for Fire Red and Leaf Green, I get it. I think it's a good price. They could have definitely went more with it if they wanted to. Same time, I'm feeling some way because I'm like, I would like to play these games without having to pay $20 for this. Like the fuck.
I'm
Like,
feeling some way because Nintendo feels the need to charge for for a game that came out like 20 to 30 plus years ago. Isn't it just the exact
yeah,
same?
it came out on the Advance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Right?
so like a 20-something-year-old game being
that's going to get an update, I guess, HD update.
Yeah, it's like, hey, check out the stuff that we added to it. I'm like, you could have just gave us the game. Just give us the old game. We want to play it.
Here's the kicker. As somebody that now we're not privy to this. If you play any of the Pokemon games, like me, I'm from that generation one. I had Pokemon Blue, played through that. My parents got me Pokemon Silver, and my brother got Pokemon Gold. Played those games, right? So I remember when they came out with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I bought it because it was dope to get at the time, right? Because I think it came out on the the DS, I believe. Yeah, I think it was on the DS.
Yeah, I think those are DS games.
Yeah, DS games. So it was an interesting upgrade to it because those games were definitely different than what the OG one was. But now we're at the Switch tier now, and I'm like, you should probably just give us access to those games through your premium service, and that would alleviate a lot of, oh, you're not doing that. So
I would dare say, hey, Nintendo, you want to know something that would get you stupid money and you don't even have to lift a finger? Just make an announcement that if you buy the Nintendo Online, that we have added to we've added a special vault, and this vault will give you access to every Pokemon game that has ever dropped since Blue, Red, Yellow, and I'm talking about the OG.
Yeah, version. OG Blue, Red, and Yellow, like when Game Boy.
Give us the OG handheld versions. All you got to do is just pay for that monthly service. People will I guarantee you, people will actually pay for the online just to have access to it.
Yeah, that's
free money.
That's been the big controversy in Nintendo. Because it's really. Besides that, and what you were saying with the Switch 2, it's like we're looking at Nintendo like, hey, Nintendo, like y'all need to why. And then on top of that, right, the new Metroid game that came out, everybody loves it, but I've seen some people talk about the game that feels like it's lacking. Basically, like
the new Metroid?
Yeah, new Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about Prime 4 being kind of
it's fine.
We waited like 18 plus years for this, and this is what we're getting.
Yeah,
you gave us a remastered trilogy, and that was fun. And now here we are at part 4, and this is what we got, huh?
Yeah.
Look, like, hey, anybody here? Y'all want to go back to Metroid Dread? Yeah, me too. Okay.
Wait, Sue. That new Mario fucking movie looks pretty hot. Ain't gonna lie.
Oh, Mario Galaxy. Okay, so we could talk about that.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer. Yes,
I love
it. Going against my own, my own principles. I actually did see the trailer for Galaxy, and I'm like, all right, I see you're adding elements from other Mario games, so it kind of makes sense why we're skipping a lot of Mario games and going directly into Mario Galaxy. Interesting take. I just only hope that this can in fact lead to a possible, we probably won't see this for like maybe 2030 2035 of like a video game crossover of Mario World and Sonic World or
look,
because the Sonic movies are doing gangbusters and these Mario movies are doing gangbusters. It's only a matter of time before these two worlds collide.
Veronica Mars got cast as Amy, and I'm like, yes, thank you. Which
Veronica
also,
Mars
I mean,
is
if you saw the ending for the third one,
Yep.
Metal Sonic look like he's gonna pop up.
Oh, he
and-
does.
Look, look. No, I'm talking about the fourth movie.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing. Buddy of ours, Tafari, said this is the perfect setup they should do. Obviously, you got the new guy that's voicing Sonic in the movies. Doing great, right?
Mm-hmm. Ben Schwartz.
What if you got the Metal Sonics voiced by the various other Sonic voice actors?
So here's
And I
what
was
would
like,
here's what would be interesting. If they had got Roger Craig Smith, who voiced Sonic, in the old games, let him be the voice of Robot Sonic. I'm sold.
It's a fucking rap.
I'm sold.
I'm sold, like straight up.
And for the love of God, give this man his flowers. Can we get a future Sonic movie and get Jaleel White in? Can we get him in on it, please?
Now, speaking of which, Saints Row. So the person that the guy was Chris Stockman. He's the one of the creators behind Saints Row. He basically said that series is dead in the water.
Oh, he definitely said it was dead because he tried.
That last game fucking tanked.
Oh, it
bad.
was awful game. Awful game. First of all,
I knew as soon as I saw the sales of the game, I was like, well, one more Saints Row. That's dead.
Not even just the sales. I'm like, dude, the idea, the premise of the game is number one. You're doing the same.
Overcorrected for no fucking reason.
Not even overcorrected. It's dude, you're trying to do this gang banging thing with a bunch of Gen Z weirdos, and it doesn't
work. It doesn't work.
It ain't it. It just
it's not
ain't
it because here's the problem. Unpopular opinion. I love the fuck out of Saints Row 4. I know it was batshit insane.
Yeah,
but
it was. Goofy.
I also felt like it represented what the series was, especially coming off of Saints Row 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that with your new Saints Row, you were trying to all right, let's bring it back to the groundedness of Saints Row 1. Fine. I can respect that, right? Cool. Especially when they did they came out with the Saints Row 3 remastered, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah. So cool. I get it. Bring it back to grounded. Like you said, you had a bunch of developers that don't know dick shit about how Gen Z talks, making a Saints Row game with Gen Z characters, and it didn't work.
It's like what happens when you go back and watch the first Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And after watching interviews with Craig Lieberman, where he has fought against Universal during that time, when it came to the dialogue coming from these characters, where he's looking at Universal like, all right, look, nobody talks like this.
Thank you. So
what are these lines that you having these characters say? Nobody says anything about cars like this. I'm looking at the dialogue of Saints Row, of that last Saints Row game, and I'm like, look, I'm not Gen Z, but even I know that Gen Z doesn't talk like this.
And that's the thing.
What are we doing?
And that's what sucks, because Saints Row was one of those games that it was actually giving GTA a run for its money.
It tried.
Those first 4 games was definitely like, if you wanted an alternative to GTA, you play Saints Row. That was the deal. And especially those first 2 games, because everybody was like, shit, this is beating out the fucking GTA games at the time, and those were popular.
I mean, dude, you had Keith David in the first one.
Well, all 4 games he did.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, his character wasn't all of them, but I mean, it started with him being in it. And
that was the big get for the first one. It's like, oh, Keith David, and
that's how that's how I remember Saints Row, is just Keith David.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, real quick, Duck and Dodge Resident Evil Requiem spoilers.
I have not seen anything, so do not, for the love of God, CJ, do not say.
I'll say
nothing.
this. I'll say this one.
I don't want to know.
No. Just hear me out. Resident Evil Requiem is what 6 was trying to fucking be.
Mm-hmm.
I realized something to myself that I remember playing Resident Evil 6 the first time and said, it's not that bad. I say mid last year, I went back and played Resident Evil 6. I fucking hate that game. Remember the hours that we poured into Resident Evil 5 and we loved it? We were enjoying it. Yeah, the multiplayer was a little jank, but we enjoyed it. It was fun, right?
No,
that fun is not there in 6. It's just not there.
RE5 when you play that game alone, the jank is even more present, because the AI that they put in Sheva just proves to you how much of a last minute afterthought Sheva really was, because of the controversy that took place before it.
But here's the thing, even with that, just don't play it on professional and you can bear with it in Resident Evil 5 playing.
Correct.
Right? 6, I fucking hate that goddamn game because it's like, as long as 5 was as a game, narratively and just the pacing, you were still having fun with it, right?
Even with the repeat bosses, because there was at least 2 bosses that repeated,
Yeah.
that you had to do a repeat fight with.
6, I was playing, especially like Jake and Sherry. I was like, yo, when does this shit fucking end? Holy
Dude, that was me
crap.
and you. You and I did.
Ugh.
You and I played RE6. I'll never forget that year that we played it. We actually
Yeah.
went. We actually tag teamed, like Jake and Sherry. I believe we
Chris
did
and
Chris and
Pierce,
Pierce, and we
and
did
Leon and
like
Helena.
Leon and Helena.
Yeah.
And after that, I said, Chris, I never want to play this game ever again in my life. I never want to touch this game again.
I fucking hate Resident Evil 6. So when I'm watching, I just watched the trailers. I didn't watch any spoilers. That's why I said, because apparently since it comes out this week, this Friday,
It's like it drops literally in 4 days.
so there's early access folks that have been streaming it on Twitch and all that stuff. So there's spoilers. But from all intents and purposes, it's everything that 6 was trying to fucking be.
Mm-hmm.
In that it's a love letter to like the Resident Evil story and kind of a big full circle moment, basically. And I'm like, all right, cool.
That was my thing. That was my thing when the last trailer that I saw before all the spoilers started flying like crazy.
Oh,
and I've been avoiding, thank God. The last trailer shot that I remember seeing was Leon. Like, you already know that Leon does go back to Raccoon City.
yeah.
But the fact that when I saw that the RPD was still standing, yes,
Crumbling building and all.
crumbling building, over the course of like 30 years.
Yeah.
I get it. But the fact that we see Leon push those doors open one more time, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be this. I like when I saw that, and I said, this is gonna be a full circle. Something tells me it's gonna be a full circle because everybody was already, throwing out speculations of this character's got to show up, this character's got to show up, and this character's got to show up. And I said, look, I'm just gonna avoid everything for as much as I can, because I already pre-purchased the game. I'm just gonna avoid everything as much as I can until the game drops, and I'm gonna try my best to play it.
Yeah. So switching gears to the fighting game community. This is something that dropped recently. You dropped it in the group chat. I saw I saw conversations on Twitter, but it kind just Twitter being a cesspool as it is, I kind of lost track and I didn't fucking care to look at it. So when you put the video up, I was like, all right, cool. Right. So I've been around the fighting game community for years. I'm old as fuck. I was there.
We both are, sir. We
were both there when Evo had an Evo East, West, South, North.
Sir,
all that shit, right?
Hold on, I got to break out the icy hot, sir. I was there when Evo was B5.
Oh yeah, B5 in the back of the Tips and Tricks magazine and all that shit. Like, so I didn't attend those, but I attended Evo West when it was in San Diego. The same. Funny enough, the same weekend as San Diego Comic-Con at the time. So Evo was always the Super Bowl of fighting games. You go through the gauntlet of the grassroots tournament, whether it was Summer Jam. Final round. What was the other one? Winter Brawl.
Winter Brawl.
CEO later on.
CEO, Frosty Faustings. Defend the North.
What was the one up in New York they used to have?
Well, I know the one in Philly. There was NEC.
Yeah, NEC was the other one. That was part of the Big E stuff. NorCal Regionals, SoCal Regionals.
Regionals and SoCal Regionals.
What was the one in Texas?
Texas Showdown.
So you had all this gauntlet. If you were an FGC person, you were kind of like running the gauntlet and trying to win these tournaments to really kind of put your dick on the table of like who's the best in these games and stuff leading into Evo, right?
You were building up them frequent flyer miles, that's for sure.
It was to the point it built up a lot of rivalries and stuff, especially during the Street Fighter 4 heyday, right? That was the big Street Fighter 4 was really the thing that really put the spark back into FGC. Not to say it was waning, but that dead space after Street Fighter 3. We were still getting tournaments, but it wasn't
because we were stuck with the original Big Five, which was Super Turbo, Marvel, CVS2. God, what was the other one? There was at least one more. It was CVS2, Super Turbo, Marvel 2, Third Strike, and Guilty Gear to a certain extent.
And Tekken honestly was the only thing that was kind of keeping shit afloat because Tekken was still going on. Tekken 4, Tekken 5 DR. Tekken 6. Well, Tekken 6 hit right when Street Fighter 4, so I don't really count that. But really, 4, and both versions of Tekken 5, basically. Those are the
Mhm.
things that was kind of keeping it afloat. And Soul Calibur to a degree too.
Yeah, Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
And actually, I take that back. Street Fighter 4 dropped right around the same
2009.
time. Yeah, right around the same time when Tekken 6 was out.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I didn't count Tekken 6, but just that 10-year period, it was really Soul Calibur and Tekken, and even, like you said, Guilty Gear and Melty Blood. That was another one that was kind of like
Melty Blood was always like the not the salty sweets, but the side game. It was always the side tournament game. It was never really a main stage game.
So you were going the gauntlets of all these grassroots tournaments and stuff that led to Evo being the fucking Super Bowl of that, and that kind of ended the FGC season until 2 months later, boom, it repeats itself again, right?
Yep.
So at some point we ended up getting, and I want to say, right, was it Street Fighter? Yeah, Street Fighter 5 had dropped. That's when we heard about there being, besides the Capcom Cup and all that stuff, Evo Japan. Now we didn't, I would say, as much as people were kind of like raising an eyebrow at it, there was still that like, well, it's Evo Japan. Japan has their basically has their subculture of fighting game community, so it made sense, right? Because Evo Japan operates differently than Evo in the United States, so you kind of get it. And if you chose to fly there to Japan to participate, cool. If you didn't, whatever, right? Then all of a sudden we got, what was it, Evo? What was the next one after Evo Japan?
So after Evo Japan, honestly, it was
Evo France.
No, I mean like that. This is all the new stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, as it stands, Evo France will be next. But prior to all these additional locations and dates being added, it was originally just Evo Japan, and then Evo France.
Evo Europe. That was the other one.
Yeah. Now it's become.
So now with the Saudis, we talked about it previously. Saudis getting their hands in the fighting game community, especially with like Tekken, and also with them funding money for Fatal Fury to a degree and stuff. Now there's the fighting game world championships now.
Not just the fighting game world champions, sir. It's now Evo is 100%
bought out by Saudi.
Bought out by Saudis.
Now
they bought the Sony shares. Pokimane sold her shares. Everybody else that had shares in owning Evo all sold or bought out. 100% Saudi Arabia owns Evo.
So what does that mean? That means besides local support, we'll see what that entails down the line when they say they're going to keep supporting locals. Fine. We're getting an Evo Singapore, Evo Morocco, Evo Brazil, Evo China, Evo Middle East, Evo Mexico, on top of Evo Vegas, Japan, and Europe, which leads into the fighting game world championship that takes place in random places every year, basically.
Yep.
And it's kind of created this very ripple effect in the fighting game community, in the fact of Sue had said it best, in the fact that the people here in the States.
I can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So if you notice that when there was already rumblings going around that, Saudi Arabia is trying to get into not just the FGC, but into esports, period. As a matter of fact, their 10-year long, or I would say their 5-year long plan is to build a literal esports city.
Yep.
It's like a whole city just dedicated to esports. That's what their future plan is. That's how, when people ask like how far does the money is the money going to go for these tournaments in Evo? And I'm like, dude, it's Saudi Arabia. It's going to go.
Beside note though, me and D talked about this on our Working Title Sports show with how the Saudis with the regular sports, like
with regular,
So they've been, now I know you're right on this with the Evo and stuff. But on the sports side, they've been losing money, especially with Live. So that's why I was kind of like, how long is that money really if they're doing that? But continue. Sorry.
But you also got to remember, fighting games, along with video games in general, is like the highest selling medium.
Yeah, it still sells. They sells even despite the economy. Video games are still selling. So you're right.
Like video games outsell almost everything, like in terms of entertainment, like especially movies.
Oh, of course.
But what I could say is this: because of all the rumblings that was going around that Saudi Arabia has been digging their claws deeper into fighting games and just esports in general. I noticed that once Saudi Arabia had partial ownership of Evo at first. You started seeing the drop off. Certain prominent figures in the FGC, starting with Maximilian, started like he bowed out of Evo. Period. Like going forward, he was like,
"I'm good."
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be in it. He's like, I'm not gonna be attending Evo. I'm not gonna do anything. I'll still support from home
players, but
I'm supporting the players. I'll watch Evo, but I'm doing it at home. Like, I'm not going to go to Evo. And this is just after the man had like 2 solid years of him having his own video games thing with Evo. And it was kind of dope. Like, I wish I could have been there for it. But in any case, what I had said to you and D was, here's what I think. All this coming out of the FGC of I ain't supporting this Saudi blood money, blah 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 blah. Like everybody and their reasons for why they want no parts of Evo if Saudi Arabia is going to have any kind of ownership, which now they have 100% ownership of. And when I heard all this, I said, and I scoped this on Button Check that it sounds more like a lot of the people that are really having this whole boycott mentality is mainly coming out of the US and with pockets. And I'm not just going to say that it's 100% the US. I'm just going to say there are pockets of other individuals within the FGC from other countries that may feel some type of way as well. They have that they're keeping that same energy along with the US, but I know that it's predominantly the US that has this boycott Evo Saudi blood money.
And here's my thing. So on one hand, there are certain people that I feel are genuine on it, and I get it, right? Totally get it. Maximilian felt genuine because, and I can tell it was less about Saudi blood money and more like I feel my role is going to be severely diminished because of new ownership, so I'm out. And it makes sense because when you get new ownership that doesn't understand the community that way, you can tell they're going to push your ass out. Maybe not on purpose, but just restructure in a way to where you're going to feel as though you're not part of it anymore like you were before.
The other shoe is definitely going to drop, and I see myself getting phased out.
Yeah, so that's understandable. I feel there are others that it's performative, and I'm like, okay, you're full of shit because when you look at that money, you're going to take it. And hey, look, capitalism, you got to get in where you fit in. Totally get it, but don't bullshit people and be like, oh, blood money. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, it's money. You see it. What are we talking about here?
I really want to ask, individuals in the FGC that still feel some type of way. You play, let's just say some of you play Fatal Fury, right?
Yeah.
When you have a pot bonus, grand prize pot bonus being more than what Capcom Cup is offering for Street Fighter 6, considering that
especially in terms of the breakdown too, way better than Capcom Cup too.
Way better than Capcom, but consider this. The player size, the size of the pool just to enter for Fatal Fury is considerably smaller compared to Street Fighter. You have a chance to win more than half of, you're talking about $1.5 million. Very first tournament under Saudi leadership, $1.5 million, 1.5 grand prize for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. You mean to tell me you ain't going to pick up a Rock Howard, a T-Zoc, hit the lab, and just say, "Hey, look."
Well, but
I got some bills. Like, look, I got bills.
That's the other side of it, though. Is like you had people like Chris G. He did like this big mega thread on like the state of fighting games and why certain games ain't hitting compared to like say Street Fighter 6. Like Street Fighter 6, to its credit, Capcom somehow found a way to appeal to casuals in a way that still kept them playing it. And some of it was the modern control stuff, to be fair.
Not even just that, dude. When you've had 6 years of like the worst performing Street Fighter ever being the Street Fighter 5, which it finally didn't get good until the last year of its lifespan.
Season 3?
Yeah. Like we're talking like the final year of Street Fighter 5. Like when Luke was introduced, that whole time onwards, up until the release of Street Fighter 6 was like the most fun that people who were still playing 5 had.
Yeah.
Now you come into 6, and the game is like it's like chock full of content off rip. Whereas at the beginning of 5, it was bare bones. There was almost nothing there.
But Chris was talking about like how with Fatal Fury, and we talked about it before, like questionable decisions. Like nobody asked for fucking Ronaldo to be in it, but we get it because
No, we don't.
Saudi involvement. You had to throw somebody in there. Cool, I get it. It's stupid.
You throw in a soccer
Fucking
player.
ridiculous.
You throw in a soccer player and a DJ.
Yeah, stupid as hell, right? So besides that,
Would have liked to see Richard Meyer and Duck King instead, but whatever.
yeah, I mean, hey, we get Nightmare Geese apparently, so hey, you know,
And Krauser.
yeah, and Krauser,
And Blue Mary.
yeah. So, but like he was talking about how like with Fatal Fury, it doesn't have that big get compared to Street Fighter. I'm like, well, Chris, SNK Games, unfortunately, since I've been alive, they've never had that appeal compared to Street Fighter until Capcom vs. SNK series.
They were always the cousin to the fighting game scene. Like, yeah, it was. If you remember correctly, during the 90s, the early 90s, what were like the 2 biggest fighting games on the planet? Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat.
And SNK games were just there. They exist.
SNK, you know, if I can relate this to hip hop, during the East Coast West Coast rivalry, Soul Train Music Awards, East Coast and West Coast were fighting each other on stage.
SNK was outcast. The South
SNK was outcast.
We got something to say. Like, and the thing of it is, it doesn't mean the games are terrible. It's just like it. Look,
if you're not paying attention, it's like, hey, when you're not paying attention to Street Fighter, Tekken, nobody's really paying attention to Mortal Kombat 1 right now. RIP to that game.
That shit was grand opening, grand closing.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Rest in pepperonis. But when you're not paying attention to Street Fighter or like in the sad state, like the crazy state that Tekken's in right now, you just happen to look over at the blue label of SNK and go, let me see what this Fatal Fury is about. Game full of content. Was it like a legacy of characters that have been around since 1992? And it's a game that you just need to just give it a chance. Like, try it out. It's actually kind of fun.
Let's be real. Gotta be real. Nobody in 1994 was like, yo, you play that KOF 94? Nobody was fucking saying that in the States. I'm sorry. It just, unless you knew somebody in the neighborhood that had an MVS.
No,
you know, or something.
You didn't have to know nobody in the neighborhood unless you frequented a laundromat, a Pizza Hut, or a Chi-Chi's that had
maybe pocket change if you happen to,
not even pocket change
or arcade.
You go to your Walmart back when they used to have arcade machines in the corner at the entrance.
Yeah, but like, it's like nobody was really like, oh, I gotta play some King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. It's the unfortunate truth, and unless you really were intrigued by those games, you really weren't like going out your way to play them like that. I would probably say until probably when we hit high school was when it started getting an uptick in popularity, because I think you had the Dream Match 99 on the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
and then you had those collections that was coming out on the PlayStation 2 at the time.
Yeah.
Which was a big fucking deal, because for me, I was like, oh shit, I can play. Okay, this is dope. And that, to be honest, that and the Falcon stuff and everything, that kind of boosted up
the other universe King of Fighters games, the Maximum Impact.
Yeah, the Maximum Impact. That's the thing that kind of boosted up King of Fighters and the Fatal Fury brand and stuff in a way. So going back to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, much like how Third Strike was the thing for Street Fighter, Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves was like the big thing for SNK. So it makes sense for them to revisit it. And I think
it was SNK's Third Strike.
Yeah, and I think City of the Wolves is actually a really good game. And like I say, even with the questionable decisions with the characters, it's a really good game. Like
City of the Wolves honestly is a combination of just Fatal Fury history in general, because it combines OG Fatal Fury, the real bout Fatal Fury games, as well as Mark of the Wolves, all into one game.
And it's really good. And it's like, if you're somebody that never really touched those games, that's why I was kind of looking at Chris G a little bit, because it was less me like knocking him for it, but it's like, Chris, you never gave off that you really played.
That's what I'm saying.
Real bout in any of those games. So like some of the stuff that you're bitching about with the game, gameplay wise, it's like, well, this is part of the real bout series and Fatal Fury for years. So what are you complaining about?
No, see, Chris, you cannot take seriously somebody who, let's just be real, the first time they've ever played Terry Bogard was Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
I'm
Look,
just saying. Let me find out, right?
I got my beast with Chris G. I feel he bitches way too much than what he should. And I'm not trying to knock people's critique of things, but I'm like, bro, you do more bitching than actually fucking playing goddamn games. I'm sorry, like you just do.
Well, this has always been kind of
That's
my
a hot take.
It's not no. That's actually a valid take, CJ, because you want to know what mine is? We have the Tekken equivalent being Arslan Ash.
I know.
Arslan Ash and Knee.
I have look, I can go on another episode. I can go hours about Tekken. I don't want to. Maybe we'll save that for another episode, but like it's just I've reached a point where I went from I can understand people's complaints about games to yeah, y'all just bitching for the sake of bitching at this point. Like I'm just getting to the point to where I'm like, hey bro, shut the fuck up. Like I just like
At the same time,
I'm not saying you gotta shut the fuck up and enjoy and just eat everything. Yes, critique, fine, but like goddamn, bro.
I
like,
mean, I get where you're coming from, Chris. In many words, you're not trying to tell people to just shut up and dribble or shut up.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like, look, critique the games, but
however,
damn, like, what are we doing here?
However, when the game that you have is in such a sad state that the guy who has been the main director of said franchise for the better part of 30 years just up and dips, that tells you something.
Yeah.
Harada has since left Namco. He's left Tekken. He's left it in the hands of whoever he decided to put in charge of the franchise going forward. Because, and I kind of saw this coming. Because do you remember
we said as much that was going to be bound to happen.
No, but do you remember? You remember the one thing that he said that the one thing that he always wanted to keep a thing when Tag 2 first came out. He said, as far as DLC is concerned, he did not want to charge people money. If it were up to him, he would not have any part of the game be paid DLC that in any way, shape, or form impacts gameplay, which meant characters, stages, things like that. Stuff like cosmetic stuff. Stuff like cosmetic stuff. Music, like the jukebox, the theater of like every ending for every Tekken game in existence, stuff like that being paid DLC, he had no problem with. But when it came to characters and customizations and stuff like that, he said all that should have been free.
But here's my thing, but Harada, you're the one that gave us Vanilla Tekken 5 and then charged us for fucking Dark Resurrection with. I know you got Lily and Dragunov and Devil Jin in that one.
So okay, you got to give a little bit of leeway because you got to remember there was no downloadable content.
Came out on the PS3.
No.
Well, it came out on PS3. Vanilla was on PS2. My bad, but still,
Vanilla was PS2. There was no downloadable content. There was no downloadable patches and upgrades and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was just the whole game from the arcade. Basically,
we got Vanilla Tekken 5 at that time, and yes, it went through a couple of upgrades, and it wasn't until we got Dark Resurrection, which was released as a standalone game on the PSP, and then when the PS3 dropped, that's when we got Dark Resurrection. But then remember, the one thing that made all of us mad is that they had the nerve to charge us $30 to get it with online.
I mean, look, the PS3 got a big boost because of Dark Resurrection, if you're going to be real.
Oh yeah, because it was the only way that you could play it, and that was. You want to talk about a game that
you had to get a PSP to play that fucking game?
No, well, yeah, back when it first came out, PSP was the only way you could play.
Or arcade. I was in California, so I was blessed to have arcade that had it. So,
but if you wanted to play it at home, you had to get it on PS3, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You want to talk about a game that has been forever locked behind the PS3 prison is Dark Resurrection.
I mean, so like going back to Evo, on one hand, I'm really curious on how this, because on top of this, here's the kicker too. So was it 2XKO or whatever and stuff? Apparently that fucking game is like, yikes. Like, and here's the here's the problem with 2XKO. This is a game that's based off of what game?
League of Legends.
League of Legends. So the logic from the developers of the game was, hey, this is a way to get those League of Legends people to play a fighting game. Womp womp. Fuck no, it didn't. And that's even with its ease of use of like the gameplay and stuff. it wasn't enough to get that League of Legends crowd to play that game.
You had a much better time trying to get the FGC into Pocket Bravery.
Thank you.
And that's actually a fun game. I don't know if you have it, but I got Pocket Bravery. It's actually fun.
I sat there and I saw all the stuff surrounding 2XKO. Now, it doesn't mean the game is terrible, but like in terms of like the people playing it, yikes. Like it because it's like, again, if you're going into it thinking that you're going to get a player base that's playing that game to play a fighting game, no, that's not happening whatsoever.
What we have is we have the League of Legends equivalent of a Street Fighter V launch. Because did you not see that character count?
Nigga. You want to tell people what's the character count, Sue? Please tell the people. What's the character count?
Did I not see only, what was it, 8 to 12 characters or something like that?
12
characters. Painfully small.
Vanilla Street Fighter V had more characters than that
16. 16 characters at launch. It ain't much, but
16 is the default for Street Fighter. Crazy enough. Fuck, Street Fighter 4 default. Vanilla Street Fighter 4, didn't that have like 18, 16, 18 or something?
It was like 18. If I ain't mistaken, Vanilla had like 18 characters at launch.
16 to 18 is the default. 12,
but we got Super Street Fighter like a year later and we were good. And then, of course, Arcade Edition and then Ultra. Shoot, by the time we got to the end of Street Fighter 4, it was like almost 40 characters.
That shit was on some Tekken fucking shit with all them goddamn characters.
But it was.
16 to 18 is the default for majority of fighting games. So when you just say 12, I'm like, so we're in Power Rangers Battle for the Grid territory. Yikes.
Not even the good one, like the one that was through G Fuel.
That was a mobile game. So
yeah, the mobile game had more characters.
Well, let's be real. Mobile games are like the bare bones of games where it's just on the go. But you're right. Like that game had like all the characters from every fucking season.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at them like, come on, guys. You could just take the assets from that game and put them in Battle of the Grid. We'd have been fine.
Yeah. Like it's like the thing with Evo, it's one of those things where I think past the Saudi money, I think everybody's just like feeling some way on how it diluted Evo, because like I said, Evo was like the place to be, and now there's this fear like it's not the place to be. But then the other side of it is you have people outside the United States is like, hey, Evo Singapore, great, because I don't have to fucking take a flight to damn Japan or take a flight to the US to go to Evo. I have my own Evo in my home country. Which
the thing, you're still gonna have come to think of it now, you know what that means? That means we're finally gonna see Mike Ross at Evo.
Yeah.
Because he'll be at Evo. That man is still in Singapore to this day.
Hey, I don't blame him. Do what makes you happy, you know.
Oh no, I don't blame him either. I'm actually happy for him.
But I think it also opens the door to people forget, like this opens the door to communities and countries that,
which is how it should be. Like, yeah. We should be acknowledging the fact that fighting games has reached this level of a player base where you get to see it all over the world, and not just local tournaments that have access to streaming equipment, but like a national, now a global tournament that's like literally traveling around the world. Like, hey, we got an Evo in this country. If you want to fly, if you want to, you want to go out your way to fly to this particular country to be, Evo champion, hey, best of luck to you. Because how much you want to bet now, Evo really has taken the concept of Street Fighter of turning certain players into legit world warriors, where they're going to be traveling the world to be Evo champion. Because imagine if you will, somebody is actually going to do this. Someone is going to travel to every single Evo to become champion in every country.
Look, we lived long enough. I remember the early days of Street Fighter 4, working at a video store, watching Evo during the weekend, and like actually leading into Evo, seeing some of the streams of Street Fighter 4 in places like Brazil, and it'd be like the 360p Street Fighter 4, and you're watching some great fucking matches from out of Brazil, Puerto Rico, Mexico. Look, real talk, Mexico has been putting SNK games on their fucking backs.
Well, really, any Spanish-speaking country,
Spanish speaking,
but
like actually
like
South America,
that's what I'm
Mexico,
saying.
they
All of South America, Mexico, and Spain in general,
they
they're all about SNK.
which that opens it up to Evo because I guarantee you, them Fatal Fury fucking games is going to get a big fucking showing of players like
Oh
that's going
yeah.
to show up for sure.
I mean, like I
Look
said,
at King of Fighters, like them fucking matches were fucking
bro,
fire.
you would think we would be at a soccer event because
Bro.
you ever see the crowd monsters?
Mhm.
Folks is holding up legit flags, country flags.
That shit was serious business. Like, here's what's funny. Here's how old I am. I'm fucking old. My back hurts saying this. Sonic Hurricane. They had
SonicHurricane.com. Shout outs to that website.
They had videos that you can download of King of Fighters 97 tournament matches. And it blew my mind the fucking level of competition that fucking game had. It was insane. It's just like Jesus Christ.
See, and Chris, this is the reason why. This is like one of the biggest reasons why when I moved back to Japan, you gotta come visit because there is an arcade, a legendary arcade in Tokyo that you have to visit. Like you have to see it in person. It's called Mikado. And Mikado Arcade, they have a YouTube channel. To this very day,
is that one that Justin went to that he took part in the tournament?
There. No, I mean he's been there. And he's probably I think that might have been the Newtown, like those Newtown tournaments.
Okay.
But no, but the Mikado tournaments, dude, they have tournaments for like every kind of old fighting games you could think of. Like when I lived there, back when I lived there, I went there for a tournament. I was just chilling, like I rolled inside, I went to the 7-Eleven, got me some snacks and a drink. I was like, dude, like if I enter this tournament, I'm gonna get blown out.
Yeah, because those tournaments are like one. It's like one and done. Basically.
Yeah, it's single elimination. But I'm like, dude, number one, I haven't touched these games in forever. But I want to see the level of gameplay, the level of competition from these players. They had a freaking tournament for Real Bout Fatal Fury Special.
Nick.
The fact that people still play that game as hardcore as they do.
That is some real hardcore shit. If they're playing that game, I guarantee you they're still playing Street Fighter 1 somewhere in the back alleys of Japan.
Sir, it was Real Bout Special on the arcade cab.
God damn.
Project Justice on the arcade cab.
Project Justice at least is like recent-ish.
No, but this is back before anybody even imagined that Project Justice would ever see the light of day on anything current ever again. Okay. We were playing this on OG arcade cabinet. Okay. It was Project Justice on original hardware. Like I said, Real Bout Special on original hardware. Virtual Fighter 3 on original 3TB? Hardware. Yes, 3TB.
Jesus Christ.
We had a tournament for there was a tournament for VTB. There was a tournament for Darkstalkers 3. Dude, I'm telling you, when I tell you that they do tournaments for like the most random,
look, I'm subscribed.
You gotta be there. That's the thing.
I know. But look,
you just gotta be there.
I gotta live vicariously YouTube because there's a channel I subscribe to where I've been watching their Friday night CVS2 tournaments and shit. Like, girl be asleep, and I'm on YouTube looking at fucking CVS2 tournaments in the middle of the night. Like, yo, this shit's fire. In my bed, like, yo, this is dope.
I'm just saying, dude.
That is a subculture that I wish we had in the United States. That because that's something that I wish we had. I mean, I'm pretty sure we do because people probably stream on Twitch somewhere these kind of games. But that's a subculture that I think it could be really revitalized here in the States in a weird way.
That's what I'm saying. When I move back, you got to come visit. I'm taking you there.
Oh no, my girl has been basically saying, "Oh, we're going to Japan." Like this, though. There's no bullshit on that. We're going.
Shout outs to your girl, man. I think the last time I talked to her, when I told her, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be moving back," and she was like, "Oh, we got more. Like now, we got 100% full reason to go visit. So we got no excuse." She's like, "Chris, your friend is gonna be living there."
So okay, so fighting game wise, so Marvel Tokon, we talked about I think we're gonna dedicate the next episode to the stuff that got announced at the Sony State of Play. But one of them on the Marvel Tokon, they announced Magic, Danger, and Wolverine was Wolverine up?
Nope.
Wolverine, Magic, and Danger. and that kind of moves up the lineup to I think 15 at this point.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty
And
sure they say there's more in the gaming dropping.
Yeah, there's still
after
more.
EVO?
There's still more to be announced because the game doesn't come out until August 6th.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks promising. A lot of people are saying, I mean, it makes sense. It don't go into it thinking that it's Marvel 2. It's not.
Don't
Like just
stop.
Just take it as its own thing.
It's barely Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, so and that's not a bad thing, but you know, again, there are certain pockets in the FGC that are just hemming and hawing because it's not Marvel, and I'm like, does everything have to be Marvel?
Because people swore up and down, and once we saw it was 4-on-4, everybody was
And
like,
Arc
"Oh my
Systems
god!"
works on top of that, so there was an assumption.
Yeah,
because of Fighter Z, basically.
Because of fighters, like because of Dragon Ball Fighters, everybody had this assumption that there's going to be 4 life bars, but instead you got 4. It's 4 characters, but they're all sharing 1 bar.
Now, me and you feel vindication right now. Speaking of Fighter Z, shout out to the fucking Tenkaichi folks. That fucking game is dead, as we fucking said it was. And I'm not hating on anybody that has fun with their friends. Spark and Zero, them motherfuckers was like, RIP Fighter Z. Here's the real fighting game. I'm like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my face.
Dude, everybody
said that shit's gonna be dead after a year. What happened?
Not
6
even
months.
I said no. I told you. I said, Chris, I'm giving this 6 months.
Actually, no, you said it on pressing buttons at the time.
I said
6 months. My bad.
I was
yeah,
like,
you
I'm giving
said
it
that.
6 months. 6 months.
Fuck it. You know what killed it? When they try to have fucking tournaments behind that shit. That's when I knew that.
And the tournament didn't work.
The tournaments was like 5 hours. I'm like, because the game is not made for tournaments. What are we doing here?
That was never the intention. I mean, if you wanted a Dragon Ball if you want a Dragon Ball tournament, just go play fighters. Go play fighters.
Nah, they wanted to sit there and
y'all just want to mash
in Fighter Z. They wanted to play.
Like, y'all want to mash. No, sorry, y'all want to mash square and L1 and triangle.
Oh shit! I ran out of energy. Let me go 5 miles back. All right.
Let me travel to the other side of this 3D arena.
Like, look,
those 3D arena fighting games were only good, honestly, in the arcade.
Look.
Battle of Z was kind of fun.
Like, I'm old enough to have been going to anime conventions, and arena fighters are there. And I know arena fighters aren't gone, but I just want people to want better, because I love that Fist of North Star fighting game from Arc Systems. It's fucking fire. And it's great. It's broken as hell, but all the characters are viable and they're broken as fuck, and it's fun.
The fact that to this day there has never been a localized version of that game just makes me sad.
I gotta go to MagFest, which I'm not going to MagFest anymore, so I guess I gotta,
I still have my copy, my alleged copy of like a.
Didn't it come out on PS2 over there?
No, dude.
It never hit. I thought because one hit like the PlayStation 2 or something.
Dude, it was on PS2, but you had to have a Japanese. It was.
That's what I'm saying. I will. I mean, you gave me the thing to mod. I can play. Games.
No, but I'm talking about the copy that I had for it. That is the only copy I've ever had. You try to find like an actual legit copy of that game, you're getting ready to pay some stupid money for it.
But like, I just want people to want better for their anime games, because there's zero reason why Naruto doesn't have a legit fighting game. There's zero reason why My Hero Academia, with all those fucking characters, does not have a legit fighting game.
All we really want when it comes to these anime fighting games, if they had just taken themselves seriously and made a legit 2D 1v1 fighting game in the style of Street Fighter or whatever, people would actually take Anime Fighter serious if you did that. Matter of fact, let all of them just be made by Arc Systems in the style of a Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. I mean,
I would love to play a Naruto game with all the characters that they have in the style of Fist of the North Star.
It's ripe for a fighting game with all those cast of characters. It's ripe. Like Fighter Z, I loved it because it was just like, yes, we can complain about the amount of Gokus and Vegeta forms. Legit complaints, right?
And justice for Mercenary Tao, because he should have been in this game.
But the fact that they introduced Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and they're still supporting
from Dragon Ball Daima,
and there's still support for the game, and they did a new patch update for it, and it's showing that they want to keep continuing supporting that game. I'm like, okay, like that, it's great. So it's just weird to me that I know that anime arena fighters are never going away. So I'm not saying they need to die off, but it's like you should want better because anytime you announce an anime game, I'm like, yes, arena fighter. I don't care. I check out. Like I just, yeah.
You know, speaking of anime fighters, you want to know one particular fighting game I would love to run a tournament for, just to have some stupid fun with it.
Sailor Moon.
No, because there's already been a tournament for that. Number one, there's already been a tournament for Sailor Moon, even though that game is busted beyond belief. And I love watching, like I love watching people play in Sailor Moon fighting tournaments. But no, the game that I want a tournament for is Gundam Wing Endless Duel.
I think, okay, yes.
Not Battle Assault, not Gundam Battle Assault. I want Endless Duel, the SNES version.
Yes. Because, I mean, at this point, Gundam fighting games, we just got the Extreme Versus games, which are fun as hell. I love those
They're
games.
fun. I mean, they're basically just I always call them virtual on. I always call them virtual on with Gundam paints.
That's arena fighters done right, and it doesn't feel old.
Well, because it makes sense. You're using mechs.
Yeah.
You're shooting at each other, and when you do finally collide with one another, and you're actually running those mechanical elbows on each other,
you're blocking, and then you
could block, and you could do stuff. Those games are fun. But if I was to take it back to again 1v1 Street Fighter style, Endless Duel is still a stupid fun game to play. That game is busted. You got infinites, you got all kinds of stuff, but it's such a fun game to play.
Dead or Alive 6 final round got announced alongside a new Dead or Alive. Apparently, the Dead or Alive 6 final round won't have Mai and Kula, unfortunately. But you get 29 characters total, including the DLC characters. So
here's the problem I have with this,
which is
until I hear that all the available DLC is added in, no extra charge, no nothing. It's all unlocked from the jump. I will not throw one red cent at this game.
Why?
Why? Because if I got to go back and I got to repurchase everything, which I didn't even purchase it the first time, but if I got to go in and I got to purchase it from here with missing two guest characters, might I add,
fair.
I'm not touching this.
That is 100% fair.
I'm not touching it, because how is it that you pretty much took a game that you pretty much abandoned? Let's just be real. You abandoned like DOA 6. Go back and look at DOA 6. Even with Kula and Mai, you still got this little gap in the middle of the character select screen that was supposed to be for additional characters. Where they at?
Yeah.
Where's Leon?
Yeah, it's
not Bayman, not Bayman. My man with the turban. Where's Leon? Was it the camel fatigue turban Leon? Where is he at?
Yeah. Finishing off this episode, me and Sue, we've been part of the local DMV DC area fighting game community, for years, from high school, being at Pocket Change and stuff, and being in various arcades. And I think when I got back and I was going to college, we used to go to Xanadu Games, and one of the guys that's a local around there, Lud, with this shitty ass fucking administration capturing anybody that looks not white and throwing in sicking ice on them. Our boy Lud got picked up by ICE, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I was like, holy fuck!
I couldn't believe it when you told me, because at first, because that name is so widely used everywhere, when you told me that Lud got picked up by ICE, I was like, wait. Twitch streamer Lud? I
mean, fair. I should have specified and said DC Lud or DMV Lud.
If you had just said Xanadu Lud, I'd have been like, oh my god. But
yeah,
Lud, I had to look. I was like, wait, it's only two Luds I know. I know Ludwig from Twitch and
formerly Waldorf Lud, but you're right.
Yeah, I was like, or Xanadu Games Ludwig. And I was like, wait a minute, Ludwig from Xanadu. I was like, yo, get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, that is wild.
Yeah, apparently they moved him to just an update. They moved him to a different facility, but apparently he's doing fine and he's in communication. And I guess his lawyer is apparently like trying to get him the fuck up out of there and stuff. But like when I saw that, I was just like, fuck. And like I said, I'm shout out to our local government, because they've been really pushing for passing this bill to get ICE the fuck up out of damn state of Maryland. and stuff, and Virginia, because I think Virginia just signed Spanberger just signed a bill to get ICE the fuck up out of Virginia. So the fact that Maryland's following suit, I'm like, thank you, because that's fucking ridiculous. Like it's, and I mean, besides Ludd, there's a lot of other people in the fighting game community in this area that I'm kind of like, yo, y'all need to stay vigilant out here because ICE might get y'all.
True. Not to mention all the overseas folks that are like, I was gonna come to the US for this tournament, but y'all enjoy that.
Let's be real, like that's like when this happened, that was something that I didn't think about. I should have, but like now that I'm thinking about it, like how does that affect Evo Vegas now? How does that affect the locals in different states like Texas and California and all those places now?
I would say for anyone that's got to go through a whole headache of trying to obtain a visa to be in this country, that's going to play a part in how it's going to affect the tournament. I mean, not to mention you got folks that live overseas that automatically was like, yeah, I ain't coming until the US
shit gets cleared up. Nope.
Until the US gets its act together, I ain't coming.
Yeah,
like they will go to every Evo on the planet, but Evo Vegas.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm keeping abreast of it to see what's going on with them, but yeah, that kind of hurt me when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck is going on? Like that, bro, like shit's crazy out here, man. Like I said, video games it's my safe space. Like
it's trying to be. I would say.
Hey, look, the world could be burning. We could have an asteroid that hit us, and I'm like, I gotta play this fucking Resident Evil. Fuck you, buddy. Let's go.
I'm just saying, Chris. With the industry like being literally on fire like it is right now, it could crash.
This is fine, right?
No. I'm looking at it like this. Sony, Microsoft, if y'all two if there was a head-on collision between you two, and the only thing left was just fire and ash. I got a backlog of games on my Steam account, my freaking Epic Games launcher account, the free games I get from that. I got a backlog. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I meant to say this. Drop today too. Insomniac dropped the release date for the Wolverine game, September 15th.
So 4 days before my birthday, huh?
Yeah, they just said, hey, cut to the chase. This is why, because they weren't there at the state of play, so everybody was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, so they just dropped the
just said, "Hey, September 15th." I'm like, "Oh,
did
shit!"
Did they drop a trailer or just the release date?
Just the release date and stuff.
Okay,
which is kind of funny because it's like on top of that, I think Rockstar is trying to tentatively release GTA 6 in November, and I'm like, "All right, Rockstar, sure." Like, I'm not even getting my hopes up on that shit. Like.
I've already thrown my messiness out there by saying Rockstar is going to delay it.
I'm just at a point with Rockstar where I'm just kind of over GTA at this stage because it's
I've been over it. I've been over GTA.
I want to love it so much, but it's just like with the way they kind of did GTA 5, because like for me, I like the rollout for 4 where they had those Lost in the Dam and the Battle of the Gay Tony stuff to kind of keep the story going.
Just those two stories.
I wish they did that with GTA 5, but the fact that your story only continued if you play GTA Online, I'm like, I don't fucking like that shit because it's like, why couldn't you just release that as a standalone story?
Because Rockstar did this thing, that a lot of companies do, Chris. It's called, being greedy. They saw the money-making potential that they got off of GTA Online. All that single-player DLC that we were supposed to get, all that got funneled into GTA Online. So the expansions and all that other crap that came. Remember that island expansion?
Oh yeah.
Like that island one where you had to go and there was like a whole party going on and you had to like scout the place and you had to you had to case this whole island because it was like part of a heist and all this other stuff that you had to do.
Yep.
It was that. There was owning a casino, owning a nightclub. It was all of these things that I know for a fact was originally supposed to be for the single player DLC, but they just funneled it into online.
That was the damning part for me, and I was like,
What makes playing that stuff very frustrating is if you and a friend were trying to play the expansion mission, like you're actually going through with the mission, anybody, like any Joe Schmo can come right in and ruin the experience for you. I remember I was doing a heist. It was me and my friend and like 2 other friends because you had to get 4 people in order to do this heist. When you go in and you rob the bank and like the more money that you get out of it, the bigger the cut that you can get. And you had to get the was it the Kuruma with with the armor, and you put the armor on it so that way you can drive through and not take any damage. We used to do that mission to just farm money, because that was like the fastest way that we were all able to get to $1 million, right? So we would just farm that mission over and over and over. And then one day when we were doing it, someone just came in with with freaking C4 or pipe bombs or whatever, and they just ruined the whole experience. We lost money from doing the mission that we had to do it all over again. We had to find a private server or something. And I'm like, why did they do this?
It's insane. It's
It used
insane.
to irritate the crap out of me.
But yeah, that was pressing buttons. You know what? I always tell Prime this. It's kind of funny how like you sit there and try to plan out doing episodes, and then all of a sudden life just drops so much shit on you. And that's why I called Sue, and I was like, I think we should do pressing buttons. This news today, it'd be stupid to just sit on this.
I'm like, originally I was gonna sit on it because everybody was talking about it, but I'm like, you know what? The fact that this was like perfectly timed. We go from this disaster of a PR announcement from Microsoft on on Friday, go through Saturday and Sunday, and then we see this on Monday, how y'all about to throw Sarah Bond under the bus, and pretty much did throw her under the bus, even with her being gone. I'm like, nah, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
It all makes sense as to why she's gone.
So yeah, thanks for everybody that jumped in on this. We'll be back with another pressing buttons where we're definitely gonna be talking about the state of play and all the games that dropped, and probably whatever crazy shenanigans is gonna probably happen in the video game industry.
Oh yeah, because this
is start.
Yeah, dude, we're barely about to go into March 2026. I think people are already over it, like during January of 2026.
Jesus. Anyways,
I'm over it.
I'm over it. Blurry kind of even here yet, and I'm like, I'm fucking done.
I was like, dude, give me 27. Can I just get 27 out? I don't even want to go through 26.
God. Anyways, that's it for pressing buttons. We will catch you guys later.
See y'all next time.
Again! You fucking idiots!